Yeah, so to answer that, so our first couple of years, that one year started at 3,500. We did 5 games. We would fly on the weekends, and had the cameras with us. We going into neighborhoods, hostile environments. But you got to remember everybody background. I'm the only one from Jersey, half from Brooklyn.
Mm.
Octane from the Bronx. So everybody from scattered around, and we was used to that type stuff. It was about it's whatever. You know what I mean? We out here to play ball. Y'all gonna harm us for that? Let's get to it. But we was able to do our thing, and so as it started growing, now they would have something they call it like think tanks, right? And they'll have us come up for training camp. They say it was training camp. Everybody, before we go on tour, we go out there, we, work out, whatever. But when you get into that room, I'm noticing like, hold up. The thing they said they don't want to use, they wind up using it. Like I said, we start waking up. Like, hold up. You don't want to give me credit for that. Because that was business. That was beyond like, yo, just go play ball.
Yeah.
Like, we like, hold up, yo, the kids can't eat off these sneakers. The kids can't eat off these jerseys. These DVDs are super dope. It's all that. The lifestyle cool. But at the end of the day, we need our children better take care of our families and loved ones off of reality, right? Not no illusion. So they always want to keep the money quiet.
Yeah.
So now you fast forward, you see like where you go back, maybe you getting like 50, then you getting like 70, then you get like 80. Now, I always come across people that say, yo, y'all was pimped or they exploited y'all, right? And I'll be like, maybe there's truth for that, because when I met them, they were stuck at 50 million. 5 years later, they grossed 350 million. Okay.
Yep.
But let's also go with this route, what we can relate to right here. Us, people like us, we can relate to what I'm going to say. Let's say it was a time where Jokers was getting 60,000. Let's just say, right? I don't know. See, being a streetball legend, coming from my mentors, Joe Hammond, Pee Wee Kirkland, and guys like that, right? Coming from them, a streetball legend was a person who wasted their talents, whether they got turned on to drugs, alcohol, the life of crime. So back in the day, it wasn't cool to be a streetball legend. So I was able creatively, humbly, was able to bring corporate America to where now being a streetball legend has a positive side to it, right?
Yeah.
So going through that whole process where AND1 is like, how do they start realizing, we realizing that there's some money being made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some bread being made. And I tell people who say we got exploited, this is what I said. You can't tell me no street baller at that time that was making, let's say it was 50,000 to play street basketball. Now, when I say people played at Rutgers, a lot of people played at Rutgers. Well, a lot of people didn't get paid to play at Rutgers, right? So that 50,000 for us at the time, if that's what the number was, you can't tell me no street basketball player that was making 50,000 in 3 months. Remember, the season was only 3 months.
Yep.
So now we can relate to that, but now let's go on the business
side.
Like I told you, they were stuck at 50 million. 5 years later, they grossed 350 million. And I will always throw stuff out there. This ain't no shot at them, whatever. But listen, I will always tell them, I don't never want us to feel like we paid slaves. Take it how you want it. I'm not racist. People know me. I love all that. I don't got to say my best friend is Caucasian. No, I'm not racist. I love all, right? You respect me. I respect you. It's reciprocated, period. On, off the court, however, right? So, you got to remember, man, these guys was geniuses, bro. They went to some of the smartest schools. Did they do it intentionally? I don't know. I know in my business, the way we have things set up, we give incentives, right? But there's nothing that say that we gross a certain amount of money. But you got to remember, bro, this ain't NCAA, this ain't NBA, this is streetball, bro. If I say I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it don't got to be in black and white. It ain't got to be no handshake. If you was on a ride with me and we got up to this bag right here, brother, I think you know or not, I'm going to bless you.
Yeah.
But that's let me know once I said, when you're not from the culture, it's about that bag.
Yeah.
You're not from the culture because you got a 5 to 10-year business plan. So what do? You leave the people. You leave those who was watching us when they was 10 years old. Now they're 27 years old.
Yeah.
We just can't got nothing to offer them. And these was our fans, those who wanted to be like us. You kidding me, man?
Yo, I want to say this too though, because if you was ingrained in it, like how me and Will was ingrained in it from afar of watching it, you guys, and it's a 2-part question. You guys started off all games was played outside. Now when the corporate and y'all done got bigger, y'all moved the shit to the arenas. And y'all was selling out arenas, G.
Worst thing for street basketball culture, I'm gonna tell you a couple of reasons why. When you go into the arena, see, I don't know if y'all was watching the dialogue or whatever, but I was always spewing out, yo, a family of 5 can't afford to go to no professional game and be able to sit damn near courtside and whoop and have fun and chill out with the players and get a good burger off the grill, like, you know what I'm saying? I always used to say, we'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. See, all this was all in the transition when certain players start coming. I couldn't rely on that statement no more. That's my word. I'm from the era of my word is my bond. So
Yeah.
I stopped saying that. I stopped saying that. I always say that. See, people got confused with street ball with show ball. Street ball and show ball is 2 different things. Show basketball team, the Harlem Globetrotters, the #1 best show basketball team in the world, statistically show that, right? You had many different other things that they had, which I played in those. Me, Shane, a lot of guys. And for us playing in show basketball, helped me like master certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm playing against teachers and cops and this, the third, right? But for me, for a street baller, I know for me, Speedy Williams, who played in the Butter Rim, Speedy made it cooler playing street basketball because he was one of the ones. I said, if he could play, I thought it was a bunch of clowns running around. But them jokers is nice, you know? So back to the AND1 thing. When you take something, what makes street ball and the culture so dope is because it's up close, it's personal.
Yes.
It's what we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, yo. I couldn't wait to walk in Rutgers Park because in Rutgers Park, I'm getting paid twice. They call it double dipping, but not on the street level because I'm getting paid for the coach. I'm getting paid for the side bets. So you can't do that in the arena.
You're right. You can't do that in the arena.
You can't do that in the arena. You know, but like you said earlier, and I know that you understand and y'all understand, it was to protect because it started getting out of hand. It grew like wildfire. So now we got to protect our investments. We got to protect our sponsors, put them up in the box seats, and shout out to the sponsors because without the sponsors, it wouldn't have been no AND1. Back to that, I started seeing the sponsors pop up, right? And I said, whoa, this contract is between you and I don't know, third party. Wait a minute, I was trying to set up for the players. See, I'm the one who was vocal, right? But I got some legs to stand on being vocal. I've been silent. I didn't go there wanting for nothing. I got, it's a situation, right? Everybody's story different. So if it was up to me, this how I would have had it set up. Now, the third eye is open now. Now, nothing is getting passed by. Everything is on swivel now, right? I think we're being robbed now, right?
Yeah.
So when we started seeing the sponsors coming, I was like, yo, AND1, y'all should just give the guys a base fee. Give us our base salary, but let us eat off these sponsors.
Yeah.
That's logic. That's easy. Because I always was one who said, look, at some point to be a good leader, you have to at some point be a follower. Depends on what you follow, depends on what you learn. You can't be nothing good if you haven't experienced 2 sides. What I mean experience is you don't physically have to go through something physically, but being around it can help you get the same experience. Now, I may not know what it feel like for a joker to be lying off of whatever he's on. I said, yo, we should help him or her. And they said, yo, man, it's not that easy because their body is addicted to something. So we can see it. I can get an idea. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So once things started getting moved, we started asking different little questions, stuff like that. And now they put me in a position to where it's like my integrity, everything that I did on that black and white, on that court, everything I did for the game now is no longer street ball now. It's everything I did for the game of basketball. Brian Crawford always told us, it's not what the game can do for you, it's what you can do for the game of basketball. All of this is on the line. The money's on the line. Everything's on the line. To save my sanity, to save my soul, to not be a sucker in the street ball community. And I said, you know what? Y'all can have the tricks. Y'all can have that. Y'all can continue to fool the people. Y'all can have a circus out. Y'all can have these guys running around standing on top of the balls and telling them it's street ball. It's not street ball. It's the form of show basketball because it's rehearsed. It's premeditated. We wasn't that. Yeah. We was raw and uncut. The way we played, you go to our game, you can see us play 20 times. One time is going to be different. I'm going to dunk on you different. I'm going to step you different. Yeah. He's going to come down and bounce off his knee different. Half man going to dunk on you and start dancing. You know what I'm saying? I can't go dunk on you and put the X's up. Duke Temple won't be wild. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the true essence of street ball. So once those who just have street ball on the pedestal, who have street ball in their black and white, in their work, in their notes, in their clip notes, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's not street ball.
That
is being staged now. So they tried to stage the game by having us going inside, which now, listen, I put out so many different, how could I say it? So many different things out there. I sent decks out to different people who may want to be involved with the next level of this thing. And I watched them take pieces and take pieces and take pieces, and guess what? They still can't get it. So I don't feel bad.
Still can't
when
get
we're
it.
about to take this culture. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though I've been fair. I pre-warned y'all of what's getting ready to take next. So now, I was one of the players who was getting the highest bread. Take Skip out the picture. Skip played in the NBA. He got that $27 million contract. Skip doing his thing. And people don't know, Skip would, out of 25 games, Skip would play 5 games. He'd come in because he doing his one too. He on a different road. I mean, we over here. We like, listen, man, we building something over here for other players that fell under what we fell under. Listen to the same music we listen to, who came from the same thing, sharing, like Shane said, bro. Our story different, but it's the same music. And he went from a situation where he couldn't pour the milk out, or he couldn't drink the milk because he had to share it with his siblings with the cereal. We from that. We from this culture. So if it's all about the bread, go ahead. But I had to throw stuff out there because I'm in a position now to where we're trying to not only save street ball, but we're trying to save basketball.
Yeah. I mean,
basketball right now. They're taking our style of play, but see, they can't let it get too out of hand. So they're going to let the superstar doing it. Like the ABA. You had to go get Dr. J because we got that flamboyant, we got that.
Right.
I remember playing at the Gaucho Gym. I don't know if y'all played or knew about this. We playing, this is how I met this guy. Y'all might know him. I forget what year it was. We was playing at the Gaucho Gym. 2 limousines pulled up. And it was New York versus Chicago. We played against Joe Capone and some other jokers, y'all.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
This thing brings so... Yo, look, that basketball is a paintbrush that brings so many different works together, bro. Like I watching y'all story and being here, like, you don't know how humble I am because I had to spin the block to keep watching it. So now I fully understand y'all story. We're going through the same thing over here on this side.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the ones, the parent, what the things that separated us? We're from the era where the hustler said, you ain't going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, take this right here. Take this right here, had a rubber band around it. Take this and go buy you some stuff. Go get you a 40, because this is a 40 era. Go get you a 40 and all that. You know what I'm saying? At the 190 business and it's a bill, and it keep you away from that. But there comes a time, and I was being a man, especially a black man, we're curious. Now I'm over here moving around New York City, and I'm coming back to the same guys who told me I can't do X, Y, and Z, but I got more stuff than them now.
Yeah. Wow.
But you balance it, and guess what? I couldn't do that route. I was a hustler with a conscience. The lady came with food stamp. I took the food stamp, did the extend and said, wait a minute. I told my partner, I said, yo, if she gave us that, how kids gonna eat? So my partner said, well, you're a hustler with a conscience? Yes, I am, because I don't even got to be out here doing this right here.
Right here.
You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, man, let me ask you this too, though. Do you think all the N1 guys should have asked for shares in the company of N1?
So what a lot of people don't know is that company was sold 5 times. See, once the player's in, the player's in.
Yeah.
But it was a point where this one company didn't do their due diligence. What I mean by that is that I knew. See, I was privy to a different little information. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like strong arm information. I got to figure it out because I'm being, quote, not the leader, but I'm like, yo, I'm vocal and I feel as though this my bros. I brought on, and I got to take the bullet. I got to take the bullet, and I'm riding with that to the end, to this day, right? So when that stuff started happening, I'm like, wait a minute. How can we? How are they doing this? Like, how are they doing it? And like I said, we started realizing that. What's the question you asked me?
Shares.
Shares. So the company being sold 5 different times when no one knows is that first time we had shares, right? It was dope. But we still don't know what like certain things and terminologies and yo, man, half people ain't even gonna read the contract. Yeah. I had someone in my corner to read the joint, so we started asking about the shit. And this before they even getting shares. They sell a company. Boom, they sell a company. Boom, they sell a company. But this one company bought the company for $57 million. And at this time, when they bought the company, I'm reaching out. I'm like, yo, did somebody reach out to y'all? Nah, nobody reach out to us. So I said, yo, this professional with first and everything. Despite all, I said, listen, y'all. I said, this is what we gonna do. I said, they pull what we call a Murphy. Murphy is a scam. They squatted like Khalif, we say, like in Jersey, like, yo, he squatted on the situation, and they sold a company for $57 million, and the company who they sold it for, they didn't understand the dynamics of the company. They didn't understand that to sell a company, you got to sell a tour.
Yeah.
The mixtape tour was a promotion tool for the brand.
For the brand.
Mixtape tour became bigger than the brand. It's just like the neighborhood hustler. It's a supply and demand.
Yeah.
It's supply and demand for us. It is supply and demand to have a main event jersey or a half-made jersey. Oh, God rest my heart, Flash from Chi-Town.
Flash, baby.
Saying? Like, come on, man. Like, y'all
Southside.
keep it because y'all doing these different, these finagling, and everybody thinking the same owners have it. So when they did that, I went to everybody. I forgot we was overseas somewhere, y'all, and I'm on one. I said, yo, listen, guys, I had a meeting. Everybody came to my room. I said, yo, and at this time, the least guy probably was getting $50,000. And he probably was there for about, let's say, 4 or 5 years. Let's say 3, 4 years. And I'm like, yo, listen. I said, this is what I could guarantee. Now, mind you, they don't know that I know this information. I'm just like going to look at it. And then you got to remember, they was telling the younger guys, those guys getting old, but I'm more like this. You look at what's ahead of you, how the ones ahead of you, Professor whole situation. He's a whole other level. He's just so. But I'm like, yo, how would this happen? How are they able to do this? This is how we can stop it. I said, yo, for example, yo, you getting 50, right? Yo, you getting 50, right? You getting 60, right? You getting 70, right? I said, listen, I could guarantee you getting 50, I'm gonna get you $150. I said, I'm telling y'all from the door, I want $1 million. I said for that, I said, I want $1 million. And I'm talking about $1 million, I'm talking about we getting a personal check from the company. No deductions, no taxes.
Right, no deductions.
This is what I'm not doing for $1 million from the rep. And at that time, $1 million was so we could really move around with it at that time.
Yes.
They just didn't get it. So what they did was they separate. Wow, this guy. Hold 1 second.
Take your time. We good. I love main energy, bro.
This is dope.
What hat you got on today, Matt? Got the pink underneath.
Oh,
okay. Gotcha.
So I went to the guys. I said, I could get y'all this, get y'all that. And they didn't understand it. Because think about it. On a business aspect, if y'all spent $57 million, and what's going to thrive this company is the mixtape tour, and they didn't reach out to nobody. Like, they didn't reach out to nobody. They just, this company, they whoever the exec is or whoever the sales person is, they fumbled the ball on that, right? Yeah. So now that's when the guys came, we separated, and at that moment, it just started, like, we on the court, like, yo, like, man, I have my integrity on the line. I just couldn't do it no more because it's like everything, those days, man, that I'm out there in those shoveling the snow, man, and playing in the rain, catching the cold. And back then, we got cod liver oil and ginger ale. That was our IV. So, those days you go on the drain. If I would have stayed with the company, because that let people know that I'm not willing to sell my soul. I'm not selling my soul because and everyone would be like, they'll say like, oh, man, like, we taking care of you. Like, be easy. And I'm like, that's my bros. Like, I'm going to see them. Look, I'm going to see them 20 years from now. I want to go to see you guys. I live with my fans.
Right.
I live with those who like to go see me play. I'm amongst them. You know what I mean? I can leave them. I'm with them. They don't know y'all. You don't know who the owners is. Nobody know who I'm talking about. They may know now because of the documentaries, but there was no social media. We had Black Place in my what is it? Black Planet in MySpace. You couldn't just film us and go play ball. So we did it rugged, and I will not allow no one to take away what we have done for the game of basketball and yes, street ball. NFL, you couldn't get the NFL without free fall. You couldn't get the Major League Baseball without stickball. Street basketball, you have to get. Guess what? You know what we got? What we had? You know that traditional route they have? Yeah. They overlooked that concrete that they got to go through to even start the process of going that traditional route. Respect, and not just do today.
Yeah. Wow.
We are the tradition.
Hey, Will, I always say this, Will, that like there's no AND1 without the culture and the guys.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
you're not selling a sneaker, you're not selling a jersey without those guys.
Oh no, they created a culture that's a standalone. But I think what we hearing from Maine right now is that in the midst of that, they was learning these lessons. He was learning these lessons, and he was trying to put his boys on it, because from what I'm hearing, man, there's so many elements going on that, yeah, they taking care of you seeing it, but you're like, hey, we came in this thing together. And interesting, watching the documentary, I actually thought you were like the leader. I thought you was the guy that, you know, you picked the guys and who could join the tour, who couldn't join the tour. Like, I thought all that fell on you, because my question was going to be, man, how was it trying to navigate, you know, all of that type of responsibility out there?
So all right, so when the rim fell on my head, I had the 18 staples, right? And that's when I was like, God rest Kobe. I said, Kobe, you don't got to go through this, right? That's that little thing I had with the marble, you know, God rest him. I was in a car accident, and I humbly tell people, man, yo, don't drink and drive. Like, don't drink and drive. They ain't worth it. Right now, we didn't have Uber, none of that stuff. I chose to drink and drive. I was in a car accident. The emergency brake went through my leg. I broke my tib fin. I was out for a whole year. So during that year, they wanted me to still be involved. So I was like, yo, I had to do for 1 year, I did 3 weeks, 3 days, really 4 days, aquatic therapy. My vertical at my peak maybe was like a 42, 43. I actually came back. I came back from the injury. It was like a 38, 37, 38, 36, 38, right? So when I was picking the players, that was my idea. Once again, I said, yo, let me pick the players, not knowing in that little bit of time, that's when, once again, things were shifting to where it's like, I'm picking off of, like, I like him right here. Like, no, because I'm worried about me now. Like, knees, no, I know. I play injured. You know what I mean? I can't play hurt, but I play injured. I play with a broke leg, all type stuff going on with me, right? So I'm looking at it like, yo, like, he really did his thing. I wasn't looking at it, I mean, like, this that he did. Like, I'm thinking back, okay, we could teach him how to do all that other stuff within the confines of the rules. But once I started, like, it was hard. And I was coaching, and you talking about coaching. See, when you put street with anything, there's many different elements that you have to be aware of. And the only way you can be aware of those different elements or those conversations is from being in that environment. Imagine, I'm coaching half, man. I got Sauce, I got Ayo, I got Shane, I got Hayate, I got Escalade, I got all the guard wrestling, I got Alamo, I got all of these guys, right? So I said, you know what? I might be the only coach in basketball history. I coach from underneath the baskets, or you know, the thing that hold the basket up. Yeah. I stand over there. I stand under there, and I'm making my time. I know, you know, I already know that everybody want to go there. So they used to be like, yo, man, you can't do that. No, this is our tradition. This is our journey. This is our route. That's what we're doing. We're doing this today. So that's how I stayed involved. And I'll never forget this when you start talking about real hoopers, like, who there's some of them guys I take anywhere with me to go play anywhere. And I remember being on break. I was supposed to be on break for, I think, a week. I had to cut it short for like 3 days. They was like, Octane was hurt, Half Man was hurt, and the owners of AND1 was like, yo, there's a guy here that's killing. You know, you got to come back. And I was like, man, who is it, yo? They was like, his name was Baby Shaq. I said, oh, boy. So, you know, like I said, you really can't go do nothing. Like, you can't go. I can't go get no resume on this guy. Then I would have done it anyway. This ain't now. I ain't looking at no film. I'm not looking at no film for no streetball game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get there to the lobby. Everybody there. I'm renegade. I'm shaking everybody's hand. I get the Baby Shaq. I'll give him a hand for him, like, yo, what like this? He did his thing. I did my thing. We went at it. We gained each other's respect. He was real tough, but those are some of the stories that, see, it goes back to we have a gift that people can see. Some people have a gift they can hear. Others don't chase their gifts because you can't see it nor hear it, right? So, everything's going back to what we were saying. Like, yes, they got a chance to see the game and stuff like that. We played, but it's the journey, the backstories of these athletes. Yes, what's intriguing to me. Our backstory. We met Aaron up there. You know, we're on a tour bus. We're going to get some grocery in Texas. We meet Aaron there. You know, like, I don't know he worked. He was pushing the cart out, helping people. Not that he was in a situation. I guess that was maybe a part of his job for that day. He was working at the supermarket. He had a job. And I said, yo, you play ball? He was like, yeah, I play a little ball. I said, man, come down to the open run, da-da-da-da-da. This brother had a book bag going to the 360 through the leg and dunked it. I said, he don't got a tryout for now. We just need opportunity.
Man, stop it, man. You said you had a book bag.
Yo, bro, this boy, that kid, man, that kid, a special kid. And I'm saying now, man, you got me, Half, man, Octane, we get a little older. So when on the other side, they be like, oh, they hate you. Like, oh, I need them guys there.
Need them guys
out there so I can do my spot still. You know what I mean? Like, I don't aspire to retire type thing, you know? So, it is what it is.
Yo, and then the thing is, street ball, y'all come in not only with with the gear, your swag. They like it. What you can see them on Fox TV now. The TV deal. What?
That was amazing. And
that shit was like,
it's crazy with the sneaker deal. So you saw with the sneaker deal. Now let's go back to USBL, right? I played the Atlanta City Seagulls, and I never forget the story. So. I was there a year before R. Kelly. R. Kelly was there the year before me. I came the year when they had Master P. Right? So we was in practice, and P is like, he's like, yeah, everybody come to my room. And my room was right next to his room because he had two complaints. One of his main complaints was he didn't have enough channels. With the Sheraton on Pike Road, he didn't have enough channels. So after practice, they put up a little satellite dish on the side, whatever. Also, P's like, everybody come to my room. So we go to his room. He got those No Limit joints, right? So everybody hype, get this No Limit sneakers. They got the 504 shirts, And I was like, P, I could take the shirts, but I can't with the sneakers. So he was like, what you mean? I said, like, I got a deal. He was like, a deal? I said, yeah, this company AND1. I said, come to my room. Come to my room. I am boxing and not wearing new pair of sneakers every day. So that was funny. Now, you got to come on. No, but the first way, I'm not an inventor of streetball. We did not invent streetball. We did not invent the culture. We was a part of a company that was able to take us and broaden the culture, right? So the first thing to introduce, because I know the Hook Mitchells and them, I followed those stories, y'all joint. So I was aggressive to the stuff, right? But the first one to show, I think, street basketball on the mediums, on the big stage, it wasn't AND1. It was on hollow ground. On hollow ground was with the Conweiser brothers, and that's where like Dr. J and all them, and they followed my bad boy team. My bad boy team, I won the championship at Rutgers like 3 times in a row, and it was following us our joint. So if y'all go looking on hollow ground, I didn't find this out till later. Check this out. If you look in those clips, I got some Nikes on. I'm what they call a free agent, right? Yo, AND1. If I'm mistaken, I don't want to put a number out. But you see clip where it's like AND1 stuff. I didn't know that they paid him a lot of bread for that spot. But I don't know what product placement is. I don't know what product placement is.
Yeah.
I'm going through the thing. I'm playing with Masterpiece. I'm tripping out because you getting $300, $350 a week. I just read the Jet magazine. You was worth $350 million. So now I got to have a talk with you now. Now we got to talk to you. Like what am I missing at? And his words was, he said that their dream was to get their grandma out the project, and they did their 1-2 or whatever. But his dream was to play basketball. So he was just chasing his dream, man. Where he's born, shout out to P, yo.
Yeah, for real. Absolutely, man. I want to ask you then before we transition.
No, we ain't transition. We moving forward, but go ahead.
This is a 2-part question.
Yeah.
How did it end, and what's your relationship now with AND1?
How did it end? Well, once you go through certain owners, so the new owners they have now, I put them in a position to where we're doing a documentary called Bigger Than the Brand. I'm not saying I'm bigger than the brand. No brand is bigger than the actual culture. So the new owners are saying like, well, we wasn't a part of what you guys went through, right? We had anything to do with that.
Okay.
So my thing is, okay, why you ain't change the name? You benefited off it. So I put them in a position where I was like, yo, we're doing a documentary. Y'all can tell y'all story. See,
well, you got your third eye open, boy.
I mean, it might be a little red, but it's open. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So that's what it was. So is it any black blood? Nah, had they done wicked things? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But nah, we on and off. I wish anybody that's doing anything with them, salute to them. Make sure y'all own y'all names. Make sure y'all and some of the young guys that be abreast of all of them. those that for unfortunate, and this is just reality. Those that don't kind of look like us, they're going to go a little further and take the credit for our culture. So my bro, Lil Fest, that's my bro to this day. We chop it up, we talk, and I let people know whoever have any thoughts about his game, I take him anywhere with me and play basketball. At that time of our peak, he could rock, he could play, go look at his high school stuff. We had other players that came through. I definitely wouldn't put them in the game unless I know and understand that we're going to be down by 10 and win by 15. So everybody had their own thing, you know what I mean? So it's really, streetball, we got to get back to what it was, what it is, and what it was. It's not doing, it's about getting buckets, bro. You might not get picked to play again, yo. You have to make a bucket. You got to get baskets. You know what I'm saying? You also stretching yourself. Somebody might be down there because they just had an argument with their girl or their mom or their grandma, and they down there just to get it out. So it's so many elements to the culture, and once you start taking pieces of the culture, see, we was once a part of the fifth or sixth element of hip hop, right? But the streetball culture has been producing, has been somewhat miseducated, but to where we are, hip hop may be an ultimate, like this, it's vice versa. So if we're fifth or part of their culture, someone reciprocate that somewhere over here, because you can't have one without the other. Because of my headphones, I was listening to what was hot out there. We gonna make it and all that. I get high. We listen to all that. We get off baseball. That's my guy, Scarface, Dollar Bill, and we listen to the E40s, and we got we did the trenches, and we listen to the music. So we are somewhat a part of it, because this is what the players that was listening to. And that was what gave us our energy to go out there and play. So there's many cultures. So you got hip hop. Remember, hip hop is fairly new. Street basketball, the state of street basketball right now is the state of hip hop right now, right? You have, like Jada said, he's a thousand pieces. No, Jada just said, your new A&Rs is your likes and followers. You know what I'm saying?
He said new A&Rs, you right.
You feel me? So now it's like I'm a part of that product. Can't nobody tell me that basketball, street basketball, going back outside into the parks can't save your life. Can't nobody tell me that you have to shoot 3-pointers, that mid-range will take you. I had 1,780 points. Only speaking, 250 of those was dunks. I had 500 points in dunks. I had 250 dunks between my freshman year, my senior year. I only maybe shot a couple of threes, and y'all want to convince me that the mid-range don't count? I was taught to get buckets by any aspect, whether it's a jump shot, a three-pointer, to get buckets, and you stop the opponent from scoring.
Yeah.
So I miss me with I'm not target, but miss me with the guy can shoot threes. If you shoot threes, that's super dope. I had 1,700 and something points going to the box. You know what I'm saying? Meet me by the rest. So
hey,
no doubt.
Hey, I get that Baja from Malcolm Griffin.
Come on, man.
From MG, baby. My boy MG. Oh, that dude ain't New York.
I can tell if a person could play or not. You talking about you doing the jelly moves, the jelly fam, and all that stuff. That means that you get your shot punched out the park. If you do a Euro step, that's a walk. Like, we really had to get to it. You know what I'm saying? We had to get to it, man.
Man, that's a walk.
I love that story, what y'all did, man. And like I say, at y'all time of going through what y'all going through and what we go through, we don't know that this is the creator. Look, that traditional route, right? Traditional route, super dope. God bless you. Go that route, do what you gotta do. But this route right here, this is the ultimate creator's route, bro. Yeah. This route right here. And the journeys, and that to this right. And guess what? This ain't our destination. This is another piece of our journey. And we share from each other, and we letting the youth know that you don't gotta join the gang. You ain't gotta be this, and you ain't gotta be that. You could be yourself. Be yourself and see how could you come up with something. If you play a sport, be good in that sport to get a scholarship, to take the burden off your family, because that stuff's still rising. Education should be free. So now we gotta, so when they say the university, we gotta use those opportunities, take advantage of those opportunities, still be yourself, still listen to the OGs, don't disrespect the elders. See, we from that era. Yeah. We couldn't disrespect that elders. We couldn't talk back. That's why we able to talk about it right now. And a lot of people say, how will we not speak to someone who's been there before? Our elders could tell us about being 20, so when we can't tell them about being 20.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So we just beg and learn, my brothers.
I got to ask you this too, man, because, and though I think I already know what you're going to say, but I got to put it out here. Any regrets?
Only regrets I have is letting others down who believed in me more than I believed in myself. So if I was to do it all over again, I would do it different. You know, everything. When I say different, not like the ball stuff and training and all that stuff.
Right.
I would, what I would have done different was they told me that if I would have stayed at Rutgers for 4 years, I'd go to the league. You know, like little things like that. You know, if I would have been on top of my grades stopped me. You know, it wasn't, even though I wasn't going to the gym, I wasn't doing these things. So me cheating myself, I take all blame. Me cheating myself would be what I would regret. But would I do this all over again? Yes, I would do it all over again. Now, are you asking, would I do it all over again with a different mind frame? Yes, because I'm going to AND1 know that, listen, I'm coming in the gate. I want a part of your company. I want equity in your company. I'm not bringing no money. I have what they call sweat equity. And then let's roll.
That's right. That's right.
Third eye on them, baby.
Hey.
You got the third eye on them.
That's real talk, though. That's real talk.
So explain to me and Will, what is Blacktop Streetball Association?
Absolutely.
So Blacktop Streetball Association is basically like it's all community driven, and we also bringing out and introducing a new game called 52 Basketball. 52 Basketball is what we called in Jersey. It was called 21, the Game of Rough. Remember that game? Y'all played that?
Yeah.
So what I did was we have a book as well. My partner Mark Bullock and Aircraft and Ferguson Aircraft, who was with the initial foundation of AND1. So we have the rules, everything. So what this is doing is that we're also saving basketball. So you know how you can get the one person who's just chilling in the paint and get the rebound and that? You can't do that with this. So you got 5 teams. One player represents each team. The first team to get to 52 wins, right? The person get to 52, you can sub out with them. It's 2 per team. 1 point is 2. 1 basket is 2 points. 3-pointers is 5 points. If you dunk it, it's 5 points. If you steal the ball, it's 5 points. If you block a shot, it's 5 points. The reason why we had to do it like that, as far as statistically, we did a research on how long do it actually take to play a game. So you could be out there all day playing a game of rough, and also not only that, but we're able to tell a story about basketball. You get to the park first by yourself, you're shooting around. Another guy might come, you might play a little one-on-one. Another guy come, a 3-man. You start the game of rough now. You get 5 guys, start the game of rough now. So introducing this game is going to be like, I think it might be one of the next level things because each player, look, a center might win a game, the guard, but everyone can get their attributes. See, the things that win games is not in that book that they be writing the stuff down and all that stuff. I mean, of course, we know you got to score out, play D, we know that sound check. But on the floor is not an accolade in it. You don't get a Calvin on the floor award. You know what I'm saying? You don't get have Best of the Man award.
Yeah.
Have a backdoor award. They don't. So we're trying to go back into with this social media era, this AI stuff. We forgot about the simplicity of things. We have to reprogram our people, reprogram the athletes, reprogram our cultural thinking. We got some work to do. And to create the blessed us to be able to have that part of that basketball culture, that basketball entertainment, the movie side, which you got, your life story, to let us know that it's possible. And we got to keep pushing it forward because, like you said, how can we do it? We got to be the authors and narrators of the future.
Wow.
So that's the Blacktop Streetball Foundation. You also doing the SYK Streetball Syndicate. What's the purpose and the mission of that?
So once again, that was a Culture Vulture guy. That's some old stuff I think they have out there. I put something together. We was about to start doing some business in China, introducing the street basketball culture. Behind the scenes, I guess, once again, jokers who don't really understand the dynamics of it. So I could be here talking to y'all. I took the high road, separated myself from that. So it was called Sky, Serving Knowledge to the Youth. You know, we've been in situations where everybody want to, try to dissect, but not put things back together. But now, so each person, anybody that came after that company, I feel bad for you. Because it's not going to work. None of that stuff going to work. None of that stuff is going to work. Like, and not to the business, the hot water pass. You can see my stocks and all that, and the watch. That's not going to work now. It's not going to work. So he was one of the ones who tried to do X, Y, and Z. I don't know why it's still there. Ball for Life, I always had that since 1999. If y'all watch the shows or whatever, you go back and look at it. I was always like, main event Ball for Life, because Ball for Life was learning life experiences through ball. I'm sharing and create a company based off of my experiences with the culture, with the sport, with basketball. So that's what, like, if I'm teaching someone how to do a crossover, I'm also equating and teaching them something in life. I teach them to follow through. I'm teaching them how some things you got to follow through, but you still got to have that process of A, B, and C plan over here. Sometimes plan A may not be the one that you need at that particular time. You might need plan B. And what we don't realize is, I know for me, I strive and I had on my mindset, I had on my vision board that I want to make money playing basketball. I want to get this brand. You don't got to be the NBA. I want to get back to my community, right? But there's things that happen in between that transition. There's so many things that happen. I think that on a spiritual level, the Creator allowed us to go through certain things. He allowed you to go through something maybe a little more strenuous than me, or you strenuous than me, or vice versa. It's all for a reason. And the know that what y'all did for the culture, what y'all did for people, man, yo, that ain't no blueprint. That's God's work, B. That's the Creator's work, shifting us, and I need them. It was already set for this conversation. Y'all had to go through. You had to go through. I had to go through. Had we made it to the traditional destination, what's after that? We got successful. We sitting real high, and the people who was there for us. I'm getting messages where Cat, thank God it was social media, because he's texting me to tell me that he thanked me. And I say this humbly because he was following my high school team, and he was betting on me dunking how many dunks I had to take care of his family, because his mother and father was on drugs and he had siblings, and he followed my games. You think I worried about that tradition journey? No, bro. I regret nothing. I regret not being able to understand the people I let down. I regret that. I regret when I go back to Rutgers University to this day, I'm part of the brotherhood. I went there for 2 years, played 1 year, but the impact I had, the impact they had on me, they treat me like I graduated. I regret that. I regret those two. That's my regrets. Letting those down who wanted me. You know what I'm saying?
That's nuts.
So anybody can give back, I give back, man.
I love the sky, man. I hope that somewhere, man, God opens up a window for that to that should be happening here, man. I love that, man.
Oh no, I don't got none of that. I don't got nothing to do with that. We got so many things but that. See, my thing is, I just can't promote or be a part of something that I know that internally you're not doing that. Once again, people know us. You come across all type of people with ideas. But soon something happen, whose name gonna be forefront? Ours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So Sky is super dope. The reason why I wanted to be a part of it, because it's super dope. Serving knowledge to the youth. That's dope. if eternally, the baby you're submitting, I don't want no parts of it. You know what I'm saying? Real right.
I feel you.
You mean, baby.
So what about the so Ball for Real?
Ball for Real was when we separated with AND1. I took the guys with me, and we did the Ball for Real. Once again, we had someone that came from the previous AND1 team, whatever. She was supposed to get the sponsors, and long story short, once again, we still learning. She then flipped it and did this over there. I should have known it was a red flag when you said you're going to give me $250,000 for 3 months. I should have known that. It was like, but I wasn't ready yet. You know, like, and we talk about we own and all that. Like,
Yeah.
It was a smoke and mirror, you know, feel me? So, but we all, and once again, what I say is, I was able to always bring the guys together. I even turned down opportunities, you know, bringing guys together, looking out for one another. You know, it was times when AND1 would say, hey, you guys shouldn't be doing games on the side, blah, blah, blah. You said, you're right, we shouldn't be. But we got to.
You're right, we shouldn't be.
They had to. You know what I'm saying? So it was a journey, man. It was super dope, that side of it, because we was able to. What social media I love about it, is that I'm able to talk to jokers in Chile, in Brazil, you know what I mean, who followed the culture in Australia and Denmark and all these different places, to where it's like, okay, globally, the streetball culture has been
misinterpreted. I would say misinterpreted. Yes.
But I think that the stand on top of the ball and all that, well, you got to start seeing. So when the game started shifting and parents is coming to me saying that their child is getting cut from teams, I went to my agent, Eugene Apart. I said, yo, I have to do something because they're coming to me. And he was like, what do you want to do? I said, yo, you tell me what can we do? Yo, he hit me back about a month later. If you guys know or find it on YouTube, whatever, we did something called Sports School. They actually was out of Chicago. The film crew came from Chicago. They filmed me. It was me, Bill Walton, a lady named Mia Hamm, who did the soccer, and you could go in there, you could press record, press rewind. I was like maybe one of the first ones. I sound like Soldier Boy. I was one of the first ones who he invented everything. So yeah, this is my bad, bro. But he was I was one of the ones who started doing the first video, like workout videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because of some of the guys that started coming there, and the AND1 was like, it's for the entertainment value, right? So I said, I played when I seen Arnold Bernard and David Kane and these guys do some amazing moves within the confines of the rules, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what made them special. That's what made them legends, because they're able to give you a show and win the game. It wasn't this guy's bullshit and throwing confetti and rushing around. I don't represent that. I'm supportive, though. I support the show basketball culture, but I don't represent that culture.
Absolutely.
I represent the black top.
Absolutely.
I represent that. That's what I represent.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I want to say this, man. We've had you for, man, a good minute. And, and I'm loving every minute of it.
What?
I want to say this before my man asks you his last question. I just want you to know, man, from me and Agee, man, we appreciate, man, everything that you've done. I know you're humble, but we're gonna give you your flowers now, because you are a cultural icon. You've changed the game. You represented, and I just gotta say, man, you represented us.
Yeah.
You took it to a new level, another level, not just from a street ball perspective, but a business perspective.
Yes.
We didn't even know the backstory until the documentaries and things was coming out. But everybody always wanted to know, man, what happened to them AND1 dudes?
The original ones.
Right.
The original ones.
Right?
Yeah, we know we didn't get the story. Absolutely.
Y'all privy to it. Y'all gonna see it. You got the 30 for 30, right? The 30 for 30 was about Set Free. When we met Set Free, he was the soundtrack behind the mixtape, right? That's his story, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the untold story of AND1. That's the story.
That story.
That's time for our story.
Absolutely.
The fan story.
Bigger than basketball. Bigger than basketball.
Or we can call it the main event. Bigger than the brand. Yes, sir. But
destination changes, you know what I mean? So
absolutely. But here's the thing, though, man. Without your story, I mean, the reality is we don't get the AND1 movement. So man, we honor you, bro, man. We appreciate you, man, and thank you for hanging in there, because we know, Agee and I, we know, man, people don't recognize what you got to go through to even for folks to stand on your shoulder. You got to be able to stand up. Just for folks to stand on your shoulders, man, and they don't know what it's like when you're being rejected. They don't know what it's like when you're being taken advantage of. They don't know what it's like when in your face folks telling you one thing and you know
they're doing
something completely different right in your face. But yet, because of, man, who you are, you maintained your integrity. In spite of it, man, you've created man, an environment, man. I know your boys are proud of you. Your family's proud of you. We're proud of you. My dog is going to hit you, man, with a final question. I got one final question for you. Then he going to hit you with a final question. My final question for you is this, man. Is there anything that you would like to share with us, with the audience, that we don't know, that we should know about Main Event?
Our family and community first. Like I was at a meeting with my youngest and some other people. Actually, Archives Production, Miss Rachel. We had a meeting, had some other people there, and they asked me the question like so, like what you asked me, if it was up to you, what do you want to do if you took your last breath? Or what do you want to do? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I may have lost a lot of opportunities because I couldn't answer that question. So we get in the car, right? And my son says to me, he was like, Dad, he said, you know what you is when you answer that question? He just turned 21. I said, what? He said, you're a humanitarian. So, man, be true to what you do. Give it your all. Someone's always watching. Take advantage of every opportunity. Be willing to do things even if it's not a profit, because if you're learning something, there's no price on what you can learn. Hands-on. Never give up. Y'all's story. I never gave up. You never stopped. But regardless of what said you should do what, what we had to endure, man. I was watching this joint. I remember a part where you was at the park and the pops walked off, right?
Yeah.
And it goes back to me saying that we all share similar stories with different music, because that takes me to Half Man's story, where he had to go to the park and his mom had to walk through the block and go over here, and she know what he's doing it, and we still pushing, and my clothes don't look like they clothes, or my stomach ain't as tight as down, and my face ain't as plump as that. Not knowing at that moment,
Yeah,
we don't understand it. But as we mature, God was putting us where we need to be, man. You know what I'm saying? He was putting us where we need to be. I don't know if that answers your question, but sometimes things just be tapping into me, man. I just be like, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me, you know what I mean?
Man, this is my last question. I want to give a shout out to your best friend who you first called to say that Shane dribbling machine.
Yes, sir.
I want to congratulate Shane on accepting that head coaching job at that school.
Yes, sir.
Because I follow you and Shane on Instagram, and I've been seeing what I know you and Shane is like this. Like y'all are like brothers.
For real.
I just want to give him his flowers too, because that dude really, he's like a Curly Neal to me, man.
Can't have Batman without Robin, man.
There you go. There you go.
Like I know this may sound crazy to some people, but if you put top 10, like I said, I haven't found out much ball, whatever, but if you put in top 10 as far as combinations, like 1-2 punches, and forget the Streetball title, let's just talk basketball.
Yeah.
The reason why we was able to do that because we spent so much time off the court. Our personality just clashed like that, and we was able. That's how we was able. Think about this. How did you practice throwing the ball from one end of the court to the other court, alley-oop? How can you just sit in the court and gym and practice that? Right. We never practiced none of that. So it was an attribute of complimenting one another. So there is no main event. There is no main exchange show with us coming together on a court to where we was able to shock the world. I knew when we done caught eye contact last night at the bar, right? What we gonna do to y'all?
Yeah.
We practice in our mind. You feel me? We practice over a drink or a smoke. Like, yo, bro, yo, listen, Green. We simply go out there and do that. That was just, I was like, man, you gonna go do that, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's my bro, man. I love him, man, to the end. I love all the bros. As you get older, we may go through different paths, but I know in every one of their hearts, what we did on the court was special. But our mission is off the court, because if you look at everybody, everything they're involved with, it has something to do with the community. Our community have some ills, some things what I call control chaos. There's things that we can physically do. Everything don't have to be monetary. Just what we're doing now, sharing that intel and little homie, we love them. You know what I'm saying? You got the GDs over here, the Crips over here, the Bloods over there. The way things is right now, we all come together, yo. Free Larry Hoover and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We gotta keep it real right, man. We're gonna need each other. We're gonna need each other. We gotta do it, man. We need each other, man.
So because this is the Hoop Dream podcast, my last question to you, ME, main event, the legend, the myth. What's the next chapter in main event's Hoop Dream?
The next chapter in main event Hoop Dream is introducing 52 basketball to the world, continuing being the voice for the voiceless, continuing and feeding the community, and what me and my circle call is we give the community CPR. Not necessarily mouth to mouth, but we be there to assist one another, bring the best out of other individuals. So my next chapter has always been my chapter. Parts of my chapter is being there for others, to assist others as well as assist myself, my family, my friends. Because success to me is not the picket fence, not the fancy car, but success to me is being successful and put others in position to be successful.
There you go. Your son said it best. Dad, you a humanitarian, baby. Main event, baby, on the show. We got it.
Sir. Hey, how can people find you, man? How can people find you? I know how to find you, but we won't know how to find you.
You have an official main event AND1 on IG, Waliyy Dixon on Facebook. What else I have? That's about it. And then my manager, Art Cox Productions.
You on X?
X, what's that?
Twitter.
He said, what's that? Twitter. He said, what's that?
No. I take it. I'm still like, no, I was saying that, and I was scared to hear it because I wanted some more stuff to come on there. So I left that alone, like a black and white Xbox thing. I really messed with that. I ain't going to front. I ain't gonna hold you, I don't have that.
I don't have that.
If I had to get through that to get to the Twitter thing, I don't have that one yet. But to take care of stuff and listen, man. I want to say this. I just want to say this. I think y'all each and every one of y'all for reaching out. Mrs. Cox, all kinds of protection, putting us together. But the Most High, the Creator, I don't know what your guys' faith base is, but for me, man, the Creator is the head of my life. He showed me different things. Like they say when you talk, he may not talk physically to you, you can hear his voice, but he'll show you different signs. And I want to say this, man, to all my shooters, right? To all my shooters worldwide, nationwide, whatever's set, whatever you're doing, to all my shooters, man, make sure your next shot is over your opponent and never at your opponent.
I like that, Doc.
Word is bond.
I like that. Yes, sir. Hey, what Shaq say? Put that on a t-shirt. I like that,
Put
man.
that on a t-shirt, man.